Hi everybody and welcome to Bujinkan Dojos. My name is Daishihan Paul Johnston. Today what I'd like to do is we're going to demonstrate a video, and this is a video in reply to a video that was posted online recently where a senior member of the Bujinkan is utilising a shuto to disable a person and disarm a person with a firearm. Now that technique in itself is both foolish, it's dangerous, and it's not real world. And we're going to break it down and explain to you why you should not be teaching your students this type of technique. Watch now. This is a replication of what actually the video implied. Weapon's pointed at the person's chest, hand comes up, shuto, weapon comes out, and then we push the weapon back out towards the attacker. That is just not going to happen in a real world situation, and I'll explain in detail why. So you understand, my background, my experience is over 35 years. I've spent time as a federal agent for 10 years at the Australian Federal Police. I've also served in the Australian Army as a soldier for 15 years. I've spent time in Afghanistan as a security contractor. I've also trained and taught security, police, military personnel from over 20 countries. I've also been qualified as a firearms instructor with 4 different police agencies throughout the world, and I teach firearms personal safety, so I understand what happens in a real world situation. I've also used firearms in real world situations, so I'm acutely aware of how the firearm works and how the types of techniques that are taught out there, most of it is ill-informed and it's basically bullshit. Watch now for a demonstration of what will happen in a real world situation if I try to utilise a shuto inside a person's wrist. Weapon comes in from this position, I put my hands up. As soon as I try to get offline and utilise that, what I'm actually doing is, as I strike the wrist, I'm actually canting the weapon so it comes in. Even if I come offline and I use a shuto, the wrist is going to cant in, so the weapon's pointed at me. Don't think for one moment that by utilising shuto, that's going to release that weapon into the air and you're going to be able to catch it. It's absolute bullshit. I'll explain why. Because the finger's on the trigger. That trigger and the finger is connected to tendons in the forearm. As soon as I apply pressure and strike that area there, it's going to tense up the actual wrist, and it's going to tense that finger pressure, and the shot's going to go off. Watch again. I'll do it one more time. This time I'm actually going to get offline even more. What people aren't being taught is not only does a round come out of the chamber, but you have noise, you have the blast, you have the flame, you have also propellant burning coming out, you have heat coming out, and in particular, you have the noise. What people don't teach their students is that noise factor, that dynamic action of that weapon coming in, and everything that also happens at the same time. You must be very, very careful with this, because you only have a very small window of survival when somebody's pointing a firearm at you. To think otherwise, to think about fancy techniques or kicking out of the hand or doing something crazy like that is foolish. Watch again. Weapon comes in, even from this distance here. By the time I get this around here, if I'm not offline, there's a good chance that it's still going to hit me from that position here. So please, if you're teaching your students techniques against firearms, don't teach things that are irresponsible, that are foolish, that are unsafe. I hope you've all learned something from this video, guys. This is not about putting a personal slur towards this particular instructor. What I'm incorporating this is to show people that if you don't have the skills and the knowledge and the experience to be able to teach this, don't teach it. It's foolish, it's very dangerous, and it's unsafe. I hope you've learned something from today's video. Stay safe, guys. Train often and always remain humble.